If your copy doesn't sell your stellar service, all you have is a pretty website, not a business. I am so excited to share this proven and practical checklist with you so that you can polish up your online welcome mat, aka your website. 1. Results based headline that targets your ideal client. 2. Mindset motivators. 3. Why they should hire you and a let me statement. 4. Offers and short descriptions, as well as a call to action. 5. Client testimonials. And 6. Mini about me section. You're listening to the Copywriter On Call podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Gillis, copywriter, word magic maker, and owner of What Sarah Said. On this podcast, you'll feel empowered to show up online in a way that has you saying, "That's so me." Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Copywriter On Call podcast. I am your host, Sarah Gillis, and I am clocking some solo on-call hours today to share the must-have copy items that photographers need on website homepages. Before we dive in, you can download a free website homepage checklist at the link in the show notes. I am so excited to share this proven and practical checklist with you so that you can polish up your online welcome mat, aka your website. Let's get started, friend. First, here is your 6-part checklist. 1. Results-based headline that targets your ideal client. 2. Mindset motivators. 3. Why they should hire you and a let me statement. 4. Offers and short descriptions, as well as a call to action. 5. Client testimonials. And 6. Mini about me section. So let's get started with the first one. A results-based headline that targets your ideal client. First, let's talk about why you need this. This headline will be the first thing that your reader sees when they visit your website homepage. So it needs to be that 1-2 punch to help them know that they are in the right place and that they found the right business to help them. Here's an overall formula for you to use when you're writing this. First, describe your deliverable or your result, then have the word for. Then identify your ideal client. Here's some examples to help this make sense. Joyful photography for fun-loving couples and light-hearted graduates. Photography and videography for brands ready to stand out. These are examples from some of my own clients, but I also wanted to give you one from my own website. Copywriting and brand messaging that's packed with personality. Do you see how these headlines emphasize both the results that can be gathered and the ideal client? That's the winning equation here. Now let's move on to section number 2, mindset motivators. Here's why you need it. Mindset motivators are really key to include throughout your entire website. So this section and what follows should appear in multiple different ways and in multiple different places on your website. Keep in mind that you'll need a variety of these different phrases, but they should still complement each other, yet are different enough to deploy in key locations throughout your entire website. Mindset motivators must be personalized to your ideal client and their desired outcome or result. So when writing your mindset motivators, it helps to ask yourself questions like this. What challenge or problem is your ideal client experiencing when they're initially searching for a product or a service provider like you? Are they experiencing a lack of time, a lack of direction, a desire for a specific deliverable or result like family photos or a kitchen renovation, right? It's important to think about that ideal result. Here's another question for you. What emotions are at play for your ideal client? Are they feeling exhausted or frustrated? Are they in a state of disbelief or are they lacking confidence? Now that we know kind of this emotional landscape, we want to translate these mindset motivators into questions that you can include in your website copy. Here's some examples. How do you stand out amidst a sea of businesses who do exactly what you do too? Are you done winging it and hoping that your creative business will just magically attract your ideal client? What if it is possible to build a business that fits around your life, not the other way around? Again, these are some examples from my own website and from some of my clients. I hope they help you. Let's go on to number 3 in this must-have copy list for your website homepage. Number 3 has 2 different parts. The first one is, why should they hire you? The second one is a let me statement. So let's talk about why you need these elements. You've already explained what you do and who you do it for, and you've started to point to your client's mindset. The last move that you need to make on your website homepage before we get into all the details, right? The services, your specific offers, price points, testimonials, is to emphasize why your reader, your potential client, should hire you for the job. So here's your formula for this first section. Now, there's a couple different options that I want you to think through. If you are a service provider who offers a unique experience, and hint, that's most of you, right? We all may offer similar services, photography, copywriting, etc., but it's your unique spin that makes you you and that makes people want to work with you. So with that in mind, think about this sentence starter. As a job title who has served ideal client for the past however many years, I deliver or I believe in a something experience that's as unique as my clients are. You want to fill in the details to really point to what your client experience offers, what your service offers, and what your unique spin on that service offers. Now, maybe you're using this offer or this section of your homepage to step into coaching or education. Here's a good sentence starter if you're in that boat. For the past however many years, I've built or I've experienced something in business, and now I'm teaching ideal client to do the same. That can work really well for a coaching offer or a course. Maybe this third example fits you better. If you're serving multiple different ideal clients in your business, like maybe you photograph weddings and families, it's kind of hard to encapsulate both of those client types in a sentence, but I've got the key for you. Here's your sentence starter. Whether you're here to and describe what ideal client number 1 likes or wants, or to describe what the second client wants, I'm ready to put my however many years of service and experience to work for you. Now, again, this fits really well if you serve multiple niches or multiple client types. Now, let's talk about the other part of this section on your homepage. This is the let me statement. Now, your basic formula here is, let me show you how my service or product or approach can, what's your solution? Some examples to bring this to life for you. Let me show you how brand photography can be the spark you need in business. Even when every step is a challenge, you can still take a step forward. Let me show you how. You can leave behind the stress of family photos, from styling outfits to posing naturally. Let me show you that it's possible. Business owners like you experience success because your clients choose to work with you. Let me help you tell that story. Last one here. For a glamorous airbrush makeup experience, let me help you feel photo ready. Great examples, huh? These again are from my clients and also from my own website. And I hope that they help you to understand the importance of both parts of this really important piece of copy. All right, let's get back to our list of must-have copy items. So far, we've covered the first 3 of our 6 must-have pieces of copy for your homepage. We've talked about that important results-based headline. We've set some mindset for your ideal client. And we've talked about why they should hire you and what makes you unique through that let me statement. So let's dive into number 4, offer, short description, and CTA. Here's why you need it. The longer that your reader stays on your website, the greater the likelihood that they are actually your ideal client and that they'll take an action like inquiring. So it's important on the homepage to share a glimpse of your services or your offers to help seal the deal. Now, the goal here is to create a sense of intrigue so that your reader wants to click to learn more. Now, it's important to think about the design of your homepage here and how much space you actually have to really tease your reader into clicking on to view that full services page. If you like more of a paragraph style copy on the homepage, you're going to want to pay attention to the first option. But if you like more of a Q&A feel, you're going to select the second option. Okay? Feel free to mix it up and use both if you have the room and if it feels good to you. So here's that first option. You want to say the name of your offer and then include a who it's for statement. So here's an example for busy business owners with a punch list of to-dos. If your copy doesn't sell your stellar service, all you have is a pretty website, not a business. My website copy package will uncover the perfect combination of word magic to play at your ideal client's emotions and convince them to hire you. Then you would have that CTA, learn more, that would click over to your services page. That example from my own website is about 3 sentences long, and it takes up a little bit more space than the example I'm going to share next. If you are interested in more of a Q&A style, here's a great sentence starter for you. You want to first ask your reader a self-selector question, like, is this right for you? Then you want to give them one sentence, one powerful sentence that's a primer that gets them interested and intrigued enough to click over to your services page. Here's an example. Do you run a product-based business with ever-changing inventory? Let's build out a customized brand photography retainer just for you. And then you would have your call to action, learn more or inquire now, and that would link over to a services or a contact page. Here's an example from my own website. Curious what I can get done in just one day of done-for-you copywriting? Let's tackle your to-do list in my VIP day. And then the call to action would be like, I want in, or tell me more. And again, linking over to that services page. This section is really customizable based on how much room you have in your website design and your preferences and your brand voice. If you like that idea of asking rhetorical questions to really kind of pique your reader's interest, option 2 is probably the best one for you. But if you like the opportunity to really dive a little deeper, maybe go with option 1. All right, we are almost done here. Number 5 is client testimonials. You knew I was going here, right? Here's why you need client testimonials on your homepage. Now, many marketers will tell you this, and there's so many reasons why, but here's what I like to think about. The best summary I've found for the power of testimonials comes from building a story brand. Clarify your message so customers will listen. This book is called One of the Branding Bibles for a reason. I encourage you to read this entire book as it is so good, but it's really, really, really important to think about what they say specifically about testimonials. Here's an excerpt from StoryBrand on this topic. Great customer testimonials can grow your business faster than practically any other kind of content. You can dial in your messaging and implement smart strategies all you want, but ultimately, people won't buy from you if they don't trust you. You've got to point to someone outside your business who can vouch for you. And when you do, magical things will happen. You'll create trust. If prospects can see that other people are succeeding with this product or this service, they'll figure that they are likely to have the same experience. You'll also establish your authority. By showcasing the customers you've helped, prospects will see you as a skilled and knowledgeable business with a history of success. You'll also qualify potential customers. When you do it right, prospective customers will identify with the customers featured in your testimonials, and they'll know if your product or service was designed with them in mind. Now, I know that asking for testimonials from clients can feel awkward, but I am firmly in the camp that it's easier when A, you serve your people really, really well, and B, when asking them is automated. First, there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple. Feel free to share screenshots of delighted client feedback however you receive them. Think Voxer messages, Instagram DMs, emails, and text messages, all with the person's identity blurred out. This helps a potential client to trust that you're authentically sharing a customer's truthful remarks without censoring or editing. Now, after a lot of research, I ended up implementing a few ideas into testimonial forms that I have compiled and completed myself, as well as consulting the StoryBrand framework. So I have a few steps for you to consider as you develop your testimonial questions and you automate this part of your process. The easiest low-hanging fruit here is just to ask your clients to submit a Google review. When a client Googles your name or your business name, it's wise to have a few reviews listed on your Google My Business page. By asking your clients to take this one extra step, you can increase your visibility on Google, one of the ranking factors for where your business appears on Google search page. Now, if you want to do level 2 of this process, you can create your own testimonial form. Whether you do it in Google Forms or typed form, there's a ton of ways to create an easy form for your clients to complete. What's more difficult, though, is actually determining the questions you want to ask. So I encourage you to review StoryBrand's must-have testimonial questions. I'll have that link for you in the show notes because it really helped me. My goal with asking for reviews is obviously to grow and learn, but also to make friends with Google, right? So I like to make it clear to my clients that I prefer that they only go that extra step, that 2.0, and fill out my testimonial form if they have time. I really do value the Google reviews because they give me the feedback I need while helping to boost my rank authority in Google. I use sentences like this to really get that point across. Do you have a minute to take an extra step? If so, please complete this form to share more about your experience. Here's my last tip on asking for customer reviews. Automate asking for reviews as part of your client workflow. Yeah, it can be this easy. I use HoneyBook as a CRM, and I set up custom workflows for each type of project, whether it's a VIP day or a copy relationship that's on retainer or a coaching relationship. And I can automate everything from adding tasks to my dashboard to email communication and more. So if you don't have a CRM, most email programs, including Gmail, allow you to schedule out when you send an email. So you can use this to automate the process. I just find that it's so much easier when it's out of my hands and taken care of. And I know in advance that it's going out at that right point in the client journey. All right, we've made it. We finally reached number 6. On your homepage, you should have a mini about me. Now let's talk about why you need this. Your reader could arrive on your website homepage from anywhere, whether it's a link in your bio that they clicked on Instagram or a Google search or on Pinterest. But the point is here that they may not know you. This may be their first time on your website. So take this opportunity to tell them who you are quickly. This helps to build credibility for you as a business owner. So it's wise to emphasize whatever aspects of your experience or your training that you think might help the reader want to learn more enough to click around and stay a while. So your mini about me section needs 2 things, a positioning statement and an I help statement, which is really similar to what we already wrote in section 3 called the let me statement. Let's talk about the positioning statement first. This is one of my signature copy formulas because it has everything you need to literally position yourself in your market so that you can serve your ideal client. A positioning statement has 3 distinct parts: location, industry, and ideal client. Here are some examples for you. Minneapolis elopement photographer. Southern Illinois lifestyle photographer. Copywriter serving photographers nationwide. A positioning statement is important for SEO purposes. And I know this episode isn't about SEO, but I'd be remiss as a copywriter not to mention the power of this simple statement for your SEO. Now, even if you serve clients worldwide or in the digital or virtual space, like me, including your location can be helpful if and when your ideal client Googles you. In addition, it's important to include your industry in your positioning statement, particularly if you serve only a specific set of clients. Maybe you're a brand designer, but not an interior designer. The last part of a positioning statement's value is that your reader is able to clearly identify who you serve, which helps them to assess if they fit with you or not. Now, both outcomes here are valuable. You don't want to waste your time or your client's time with inquiries that don't quite fit your products or services. So it's important to keep that in mind. Now, let's chat about the I help statement, which, like I said, is similar to the let me statement from earlier. Here's our formula. I help ideal client to, what's your solution? Through this specific service or product or approach, which is a good one. Here's some examples here. If your creative business is fresh and shiny in some areas, but your website copy needs some word magic, I'm your girl. I help my clients capture their most important days and elevate their brands with timeless, true to them images. These are great examples, both from my website and from clients, and I hope that they really help you to understand the power of this statement. Again, this mini about me has to present all of the essential information that somebody needs to know, whether it's their first or their 31st time visiting you. Thanks so much for listening to the Copywriter On Call podcast. As I mentioned at the top of the show, my free website homepage checklist is ready for you at the link in the show notes. I hope that it is helpful for you as you audit and polish up your website homepage. Again, thanks so much for being here. And as always, this is your Copywriter On Call, signing off. Thanks for listening to the Copywriter On Call podcast. If this episode has you feeling all sorts of inspired to show up as yourself online, click that subscribe button so you don't miss my stories or practical advice to help you express your quirky, vulnerable, and authentic self online. Chat soon.